The forces of nature made themselves known at an airfield in Arizona, USA, when a sudden World War II-era storm dealt a devastating blow. Hurricane-force winds and heavy rain attacked the hangars, blowing off the roofs and unfolding the historic airplanes that were stashed inside. Even the strong chains with which the airplanes were tied could not resist the power of the elements and broke. Now the airfield's surroundings look like the aftermath of a bombing, with damaged buildings and scattered airplanes. Trees have been uprooted or broken, and there has been a rogue hailstorm. These scenes were captured in the Scottsdale area. Downpours also hit many communities where flood warnings had been issued, but were apparently avoided. These images come from Germany, where torrential rains have literally destroyed a highway heading towards Hanover. As a result of the intense rainfall, the road had to be closed as the entire roadway was buried underwater. According to the latest information, rescuers received more than 100 calls for help as houses, cars, and streets were submerged. In some areas, people were trapped inside their homes due to the floods. Despite this, according to German media reports, there is no information about any deaths or serious injuries due to the floods so far. However, delays in train schedules and airports have been noticed. Earlier, the German Meteorological Service warned residents about the possibility of severe storms in some areas of North Rhine-Westphalia. It is predicted that bad weather will last in the region for several more days. Germans are urged to be vigilant and closely monitor the situation. A similar situation is taking place in China. In the urban county of Yulin, incessant rainfall has led to flooding of streets, houses, and roads. Trees were uprooted and power lines were downed. It is not yet known when power will be restored. Traffic in the area is reported to be virtually paralyzed. Landslides have also been reported, trapping more than 1,300 residents. Rescuers and emergency services are currently doing their best to help those affected. However, there is more worrying information. In the southern Chinese province of Guangdong, more than 70 crocodiles have escaped from a nursery due to floods. Local residents have received a notice asking them to avoid bodies of water, not to fish, and refrain from swimming. Experts are currently searching for the escaped crocodiles. In Hong Kong, more than 100 millimeters of rain fell in 1 hour, causing flooding of roads and houses in some parts of the city. One car was also hit by water, causing traffic to be blocked. The downpour caused the wall of one of the apartment buildings to collapse, but according to preliminary reports, there were no casualties. Residents of luxury apartments located on the cliffs are in a difficult situation as the cliffs may collapse due to heavy rainfall. All residents were quickly evacuated to safe areas. Meteorologists' forecast indicates that the rains will continue in the coming days, increasing the risk of casualties and losses. Emergency services in the region are working in a 24-hour standby mode. More than 10,000 people remain unaccounted for in Libya after Hurricane Danielle and floods. Official government sources have confirmed over 5,000 casualties, but the number continues to rise, officials say. The flooding in the city of Derna was caused by the failure of 2 dams, causing complete inundation of residential areas. Local media also report about the emergence of a scandal in the country. The Libyan authorities did not warn the population about the possibility of dam failure, and the residents were completely unprepared for such a development. Rescue workers and volunteers are making efforts to help the victims, but their work is hampered by the destroyed roads and infrastructure. At present, transportation in the region is impossible and local airports are closed. The eastern cities of Susa and Derna have been declared disaster zones. Mexican ufologist Jamie Mawson has come to the conclusion that aliens exist. In a speech before the country's Chamber of Deputies of Parliament, he presented 2 mummies that he claims may belong to an alien intelligence. The scientist said that these mummies were discovered in Peru and described them as creatures of small stature with large heads, three-toed limbs, and strong bone structure. He also emphasized that the mummies lack teeth. Jamie Mawson claims that the National Autonomous University of Mexico conducted a radiocarbon analysis of the remains and suggested that the mummies could be around 1,000 years old. Interestingly, in 2021, Jamie Mawson also reported finding an alien mummy, but after conducting research, scientists concluded that the remains belonged to a human child. The animal with its head stuck in a bidon was first spotted in late August in the village of Barabash. The exhausted creature was wandering around the settlement, hoping that someone could free it. It was spotted again on September 12, when it was crossing a river and the kin was still stuck on its head. Experts say the bear was able to break through the bottom of the bidon and may be feeding. Locals wonder how this animal managed to survive during the raging typhoons in Primorye. Hunting supervision inspectors, police officers, and employees of the National Natural Park Land of the Leopard continue to search for this animal. And in the end, we have amazing creations from an EMERCOM employee from Yakutia, Yuri Gadzeev. He was so frustrated with the unreliable vehicles used for hunting and fishing that he decided to create his own off-road vehicles. These SUVs have soft suspension, weigh about 2 tons and can hold up to 6 passengers. According to Yuri, his technological designs have high cross-country ability and are capable of overcoming water obstacles. Although the design of off-road vehicles seems simple, their characteristics are not inferior to factory cars. This confirms the famous statement that genius is manifested in simplicity. Yuri assembled his first off-road vehicle 8 years ago, and since then he has been continuously improving his inventions. Currently, the man is working on the process of registering his creations as vehicles. Friends, what are your views on the ufologist from Mexico who claims to have shown real alien mummies? Do you believe in alien life in general, or do you think it's just fiction and speculation? As for the storm in the US that tore up airplane hangars, isn't this a prime example that humans can be oblivious to their environment and nature, from time to time, reminds us of its mighty power? And why do you think there are so many casualties due to the floods in Libya, and who is responsible for this situation? Please share your views in the comments. May you always have peace and prosperity, and remember the importance of taking care of our common planet and that we should always remain human with a capital letter.